If you had to guess who is leading everyone in goals in the 2025 calendar year, you might guess one of the top dogs. Leon Draisaitl is always lethal with his power play scoring. Alex Ovechkin had that crazy run at the end of last season, and Austin Matthews will throw his name in the ring every year. Maybe it's Nathan MacKinnon, who looks like he's going to win his second MVP, potentially pushing himself into top 20 in NHL history. A legend in the making. McDavid doesn't shoot anymore, so it's not him. It's probably not Matt Rempe. David Pastrnak, 41 goals in 67 games is elite. It's got to be him, right? Nope, it's his line mate. 2017 third round draft pick, expansion draft selection from Seattle, $2 million per season free agent from 2 years ago. Yup, Morgan Geekie is leading the NHL in goals in the 2025 calendar year. How the hell did we get here? Entering junior hockey, Morgan Geekie wasn't that sick at all. When it was his time to get drafted in 2016, every team passed on him. The next year, filling into his frame and learning how to play faster and harder, he grew 3 inches. He got taken in the 3rd round by Carolina. He still wasn't great, really. All anyone cared about with him was the hockey IQ and the shot. Nothing else was that impressive, and at the NHL level, if you're not one of the 300 best in the world at a specific trait, it's seen as a weakness. Flash forward to the 2023 free agency, Geekie signs in Boston, 2 years, $2 million per, after a couple years in Seattle. Everything's going according to plan, and damn, this guy is the face of Boston goal scoring now. What is up? Well, there's one element to this story that really matters. Morgan Geekie is really good at shooting the puck, but don't take it from me. Take it from the 4th fastest active player to hit 400 goals, David Pastrnak, who said Geekie has the best shot on the team. On a team that includes himself. Maybe he's selfless. Maybe he's like a nerd who needs to take his glasses off and realize he's actually beautiful himself, but that's high praise from a guy who hit 60 goals 2 seasons ago. See, Geekie has always had a hard shot. After all, he's one of those small town Manitoba boys who probably learned how to drive standard and change a tire at 8 years old. He's got tough hands. In juniors, his shot was legit, but in the NHL, Geekie's shot is genuinely legit. A lot of the time when a guy is suddenly scoring goals, it's from a blooming power play. Geekie ain't like that. Geekie has tough hands in how he scores goals. 5v5, not a phone in sight, just beating goalies with straight snapshots. And when he is on the power play, he took Pasternak's spot on the left wall, ripping these bombs instead of letting the 60 goal guy do it. Oh my god. Morgan's shot has been heavy for some time. Maybe this is something we could actually look at with other forwards, because he's nearly hit 100 miles per hour on a shot in every season of NHL Edge data dating back to 2021. Personally, I remember seeing this every season and thinking it made NHL Edge data look kind of stupid. Who cares that Morgan Geekie is hitting this figure? It's not like he's going to be number 1 in the NHL in 5v5 goals in 2025 or anything. Well, here we are. These harder shots allow for Morgan to snipe from further out. It's just less time to react as a goalie. It's a difference between a 90 mile per hour and a 100 mile per hour fastball. Where an elite goalie could barely react in time to stop a shot by his ear with his shoulder, Geekie's shot is going in. Pair that with his quick release, keep the puck on the toe with a blade, and practicing the mentality that it's better to quickly release a mid shot than slowly release a great shot. Goalies can't do anything when Geekie is in the pocket. Although Geekie doesn't actually shoot the puck a lot, and we'll get to that in a second, he is taking a lot of shots from outside of the slot, aka he is not getting into the most dangerous areas of the ice. There's bound to be some negative regression because of this, currently on pace for 61 goals as of writing the script. I don't know if he's going to keep that up. 11 of his goals this season have come from non-high danger areas, a pace of 38 goals from mid-danger or low-danger locations. For reference, since this data has been tracked back in 2021, no one in the NHL has hit more than 30. That being said, if there's anyone who would be an outlier in this data, it's someone with a ridiculously hard shot who can get it off the blade as quickly as Geekie does, especially a shot this accurate. Here's the dilemma. Geekie's shots are turning to goals at a sky-high rate right now. A rate that would make you think he's a sharpshooter, but historically, it's a rate that says he's getting lucky. Among everyone who scored 20 plus goals in a season, Geekie's 2025-26 campaign is currently the 10th highest shooting percentage of anyone ever in the history of the sport. If you do this in baseball, you're number 10 all-time batting percentage. You're Barry Bonds and accused of taking steroids. Free my boy.
It's called the exercise.
In hockey, you're number 10 all-time shooting percentage. You're called a fraud. There's a reason you don't have a jersey of any of the top 10 players all-time in this stat. If you're above 20% in this stat in 2025 and you're not exclusively shooting from 5 feet out, you're getting lucky, plain and simple. If you could shoot that well, you would shoot that well. Every time you stepped on the ice, the coach's only game plan would be to feed you the puck and tell you to rip it from every distance possible. If you're among the company of guys who played in the 80s when goalies really couldn't be fucked to make a save most of the time, fall on their ass after the skater does literally nothing, wake up, man. Compare that to today with these hybrid style goalies who can do the splits and probably actually do smoke a little bit of crack and or rip Adderall before each and every game. Geekie shooting the same rate as these 1980s guys is preposterous. That's the issue. Still, Geekie hits the net on over 75% of his unblocked shot attempts, third best in the NHL among guys with 10 or more goals. That's pretty good. It's a sign he has good control over his shot despite it being one of the hardest in the league, so I still think he's a very accurate shooter. Like, he has an unreal shot. But he only has 113 shot attempts total, 102nd in the NHL. That, to me, is a sign that even though the shot is great, it's powerful, it's accurate, and quickly released, he just can't create enough shots to stay in the scoring race all season. On the surface, he has an Ovechkin caliber shot, but shooting a third the amount that Ovi does. This isn't a mindset thing, it's an ability thing. In zone, Geekie is not good enough off puck to create threats and open up the opposing defense. He's got kind of bad agility, all things considered. He doesn't have great hands, and he can't create off the rush with much actual effectiveness, though it does seem like Boston is actually looking for him a lot on the rush this season. I mentioned Ovechkin, and yeah, Geekie is almost like a modern day 40-year-old Ovechkin. If you try to feed him as much as possible, you could probably get him 40 goals pretty consistently. The shot is lethal, but you're gonna have to force a puck to him instead of, at times, making a potentially better play. So, if I were to grade Geekie's shot overall, shooting power, 10 out of 10. He can rip it about as hard as any hockey player in the world. Currently the only forward with a 100+ mile/per-hour shot, and he's got 2 of them. Shooting accuracy, 8 out of 10. He's getting it on net, he's picking his spots, but I don't get the idea that he's picking spots like Kucherov all season. I think it's more like he's getting it on net and it's happening to go over the shoulder instead of ripping him right in the heart. Shooting deception, 8 out of 10. Again, it's not like he's toe drag releasing anyone here, but how quickly he gets the puck off the tape is giving goalies fits. And the best kind of deception is really just going really fast. Shooting consistency, 4 out of 10. Damn, I'm sorry, but he isn't getting to the dangerous areas of the ice enough and he isn't shooting the puck enough. That being said, he's started to actually get these nice deflection goals. Is this a trend? Who knows? Maybe come April we'll see a different side of Geekie's finishing, but scoring 40 goals from outside of the slot would change how we view hockey overall. That is generational. I don't think Geekie is at that point. Tally it up, that's 30 out of 40 or 75% averaged out for grading it that way. Can you get higher than this? Oh yeah. That's why when I say the best goal scorer in the world has been in this video throughout this entire video, it's not the guy I've been talking about this entire video. It's the other guy. I got a question. How many active players do you think have had 3 straight seasons of scoring 100 or more points? It's 5 players. All of them Hall of Famers. All of them have won MVPs. It's one of the hardest accomplishments in modern hockey. Availability matched with being one of the very best point scorers. Alex Ovechkin, Nikita Kucherov, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nathan McKinnon. Wow, look at these guys. You know what's crazy? It's actually 6 players. David Pastrnak is on this list as well, the only player who hasn't won an MVP. If you add the caveat that in one of these seasons they had to have scored 60+ goals, then the list shrinks to Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, David Pastrnak. Pasta is one of the most underrated players in the league, despite playing in one of the biggest markets in the league. I think the reason for this disconnect comes down to where he started, the perfection line. Back in 2019, the best line in hockey was Marchand, Bergeron, Pasta. The best defensive forward in the league, maybe of all time. The biggest pest in the league, maybe of all time. And a 22-year-old David Pastrnak, who, despite playing at a 100-point pace, was considered the weakest link on this line. They ran a 2-3 before Colorado and Tampa won cups with it. They were nicknamed the perfection line. Like, it doesn't get better than that. This line took Boston all the way to Game 7 of the Cup Finals, where St. Louis's magical run beat them in one of the tightest Cup Finals in recent memory. Flash forward to today, Marchand is in Florida, Bergeron's retired, Pasta hasn't created anything close to that level of team and line success. Still, his individual dominance is almost an enigma. Right in his prime, producing with the very best in the league. 3 straight 100-point seasons with a chance to make it his 4th in a row this year. But he's never elevated his teammates to the level that a Draisaitl, Kucherov, or McKinnon has. Until now. Morgan Geekie leading the show in goals doesn't warrant its own video because he isn't the best goal scorer in the world. David Pastrnak is. What's crazy though, Pasta might be right that Geekie has a better shot. When in a shooting position, Geekie could probably score a couple more per season, crazy as it is to say. But Geekie just ain't a goal scorer the way Pasta is. And it really comes down to off-puck routes, positioning, instinct, and being a damn goal scorer. Pastrnak, an unreal skater, is near the top of the league for successful dekes per game in the open ice, and his transition game is elite. You can give him the puck in your own zone and be pretty confident you're going to end up with possession in the offensive zone. Such a sick mind for the game. He is a sick puppy. Kind of guy to through the legs one-touch pass for a guy 30 feet away from the puck because he knows how the defensive structure is going to collapse and follow him. But once it's in the zone, Pasta has consistently got himself lost behind defenders throughout his entire career. The guy's 30 years old now, and he's still doing it every single night. It's always a quick dish, attack the heels, bat it in with the shaft of the stick. Okay, why not? Probably the best part of playing with Pastrnak though is how he's predictable for your team and unpredictable for the other team. You know he's going to be around the left dot somewhere. Chuck it over into his skates, and he's able to corral the puck with one touch, snipe it in for Boston. On the rush, he can absolutely dangle you. He has great hands, a great shot, and is a bit of a slippery devil, especially if you play for Toronto, where he's had 3 goals in 2 games this season already, and actually, that goal looks pretty familiar. In 2024, Boston played Toronto in the first round for the 4th time in 11 years. Every single time before, it went to 7 games, and every single series Boston had won. But this time, something felt different. Toronto was really good. They had a young guy, Matthew Nyes. He's sick. They had this new head coach in Craig Berube, who had the Leafs playing this defensive 1-3-1 system in the neutral zone. Basically, one defender back, the other in the center. Both the wingers follow you down the walls. F1 is the forechecker. It's a pretty conservative system that only LA and Toronto have run in the past few seasons. But right at the start of the second period, Boston had a 3-on-2. Pastrnak led the rush, what else is new? And after coming out of the neutral zone, he noticed he had a step on Morgan Rielly. Well, you skate faster without the puck, and after waiting for the play to come onside, he burned back behind the defenders. Zacha took it back, and it led to a shot, no goal. But David Pastrnak is a really smart hockey player. We don't know what he's thinking in this moment after a play like that. He's just standing there. He could be thinking about how Czech Republic is now called Czechia. I don't know why that's the case, and I haven't looked it up really, and I actually don't know the answer. But if I had to guess what he was thinking, he's thinking about how Morgan Rielly, the last man back in the 1-3-1 neutral zone forecheck, is not that agile. He was definitely quicker when he was younger, but he's had some miles put on him, and as the last man back, if you have some speed, maybe you could burn by him. Well, halfway through the third period, he almost had a chance to test this theory. He had the speed and a super loose gap, but Toronto's defenders are overloaded on the strong side, and it's not that 1-3-1 look, so it only makes sense to attack the open ice, bring in Geekie into the game. Good scoring chance, but couldn't test his theory here. Toronto scores, Boston ties it up. It's a 1-1 game going to overtime in Game 7 in Boston. We've seen this story before, but like I said, something's different this year. This is a chance for Toronto to exercise their demons, or a chance for Boston to go 4 for 4. Pasta gets the puck at his own blue line, but opts to dish it back to Lindholm, gaining as much speed as possible through the neutral zone. Lindholm peppers it into the corner. Pasta turns on the Jets. Morgan Rielly is too slow. Pasta wins the race. Game, series, Boston. Hockey IQ can win you a playoff series, and David Pastrnak has hockey IQ up the ass. I want to make this very clear. When I say when you become the best goal scorer in the world, clickbait, please click on my video, please. I'm not talking about Morgan Geekie suddenly taking a jump to become 40-year-old Alex Ovechkin. I'm talking about how entering this Game 7, David Pastrnak was not the best goal scorer in the world. And from this moment, this exact goal in particular onwards, David Pastrnak became the best goal scorer in the world.
Matthew out in front. Matthews back in front. Scores! Are you?
Indisputably, the best goal scorer in the world was Austin Matthews, Toronto Maple Leaf. I understand this is a conversation that could warrant a lot of nuance and depth, Matthews has struggled for 2 straight seasons. He's averaging under 40 goals per 82 games, and without Marner, he has looked significantly less effective at scoring and creating chances. There have been these mysterious injuries and maybe a lot of apathy, really. We don't know. He dresses really well. He went to Turkey a couple times. Not entirely sure, but since this goal, Pastrnak has outscored Matthews in rate and total output while playing with worse line mates and being the primary puck handler. There just isn't an argument that Matthews is currently a better goal scorer. Pasta is a full package offensively. He's taken on a playmaker role in Boston, not because the shooting doesn't work, it's because he's as gifted as an offensive player as there is in this sport. He finds the best play and he makes the best play. Him existing on the ice is why Geekie is able to score so much. Have a look at this. In 2025, Pastrnak has assisted on 30 of Geekie's 47 goals, 64% of them. In 2024, when Zach Hyman hit 54 goals, McDavid assisted on 35 of those, a 65% rate. Zach Hyman is a very talented finisher, but McDavid is really why he scored so much that year. Morgan Geekie is a very talented shooter, but David Pastrnak is why he's scoring so much right now. Morgan Geekie is an unbelievable player, a revelation for Boston. He might have the best shot on the team and is tied for the league lead in goals right now. But seeing Austin Matthews without Marner, without an elite franchise-level playmaker on his wing carrying the transition game, helping on defense, and the lackluster season he's had without Marner, it makes it kind of obvious that David Pastrnak, who nearly doubled the next highest point scorer on the Bruins last season, who has to do everything from transition to playmake to score to giving up his spot on the power play for the Bruins, and still, he's outproducing Austin Matthews in goals. David Pastrnak is the best goal scorer alive, and Morgan Geekie is damn good too.